You have something special. You have greatness in you. This is Les Brown. I want to talk to you about fighting for the life that you want. And that's something that we're looking at with admiration with the people in Ukraine. These people are fighting. And it's really like David and Goliath. He had five stones, but he only used one. And I think that was the stone of determination, the stone of faith, the stone of perseverance. When you think about where things are there's several things that come up for me here that we have a similar situation right here in the United States. You know, we're dealing with police departments who, for the most part, they are serving people. They serve and protect the dominant culture, but people of color, they terrorize and murder. It's a whole different thing. And there was something I remember by Claude McKay. Where is that paper? I saw something by Claude McKay, and it reminded me of these powerful words by Claude McKay. It was something that Claude McKay did. He was a poet from Jamaica, went to New York, and it was a piece that Claude McKay did called If We Must Die. I want to find that piece because it speaks to where if you want to have something in life, you got to be willing to go to the left for it. You got to be willing to fight for it. Frederick Douglass said something that I love very much. He said, power concedes nothing without a demand. People that dominate you and that control you, they're not just going to give that up and walk away. No, you got to fight, and you've got to be willing to fight to the death in order to get the things that you want. Give me the Claude McKay piece that we were talking about earlier. And so when you look at where you are, anything that has any value that you want to create in your life, it's something else. Frederick Douglass said, he said, we might not get everything we fight for, but everything we get, there will be a fight. So when you think about your life in and out of the pandemic, and that there are forces, white supremacists, that infiltrate the majority of police stations and operations in the country, that we have to be willing to fight for what we want. And people trying to turn back the hands of time, trying to deny us the opportunity to vote, working relentlessly to deny marginalized people opportunities in an unequal environment. It's a continuous fight. And so I want to focus on something about this. This is symbolic. One, the recklessness of Putin, that there are people in life, short-term thinking, driven by ego, that think that they can just bully and pounce on people and think that everybody will stand by and watch. Something that one rabbi said that I love very much. He said, when something happens, three things are going on. One, there's the perpetrator, and they're the victims, and they're the witnesses. And the question is, who's the worst? And the answer is the witnesses. People who stand by and do nothing. People who stand by and say nothing. And one of the great things about what's going on now in this country and around the world, that people have awakened. I remember the demonstrations, and I found it hard-worthy when George Floyd was murdered by a cop, and the cops that were with the murderer, they stood back and they watched. At any point in time, they could have intervened and said, come on, it's four of us and one of him. He's handcuffed, he's down, and we're on top of him. But they didn't do that because they don't recognize your humanity. When you're in a country that does not recognize your humanity, and that most certainly is in America, then it's a different kind of environment. When you come from home, you are terrorized. You face when you're driving, that you're in an environment where you're going to be terrorized or murdered by those who are sworn to protect and to serve. And so when you have goals and dreams that you want to achieve, there are systems that are put in place to deny you, to destroy your sense of self, and to demonize you. And the way that you overcome that, you got to fight. I'm encouraged. I'm inspired by what's taking place in the Ukraine. That those Ukrainians have said, no, this is not the life that we want. We want the life that we are now experiencing. We don't want someone to control our destiny. That's powerful. That's encouraging. God is in the midst of all this stuff as we watch, as we observe. And I'm saying to you, as you look at yourself, look at your goals, it's that everything you want to do, if it's changing your life, if it's having your own business, if it's bouncing back from a setback, and many people have experienced that. Many people have lost their businesses, have gone through foreclosure, gone through evictions. Many people, their businesses have gone under, but something that Willie Jolly said, that a setback, come on, Willie, a setback is a setup for a comeback. You got comeback power. And when you know that, I remember when I was on the ropes dealing with 4th stage cancer, that those words stayed in my mind. I remember the words of Bob Proctor, who just passed a couple of weeks ago, that Bob talked about your mindset and your willingness to do what's required to move your life forward to achieve the things that you want to achieve. It's going to take everything in you. A.L. Williams said, all you can do is all you can do, and all you can do is enough, but make sure you do all you can do. And since Bob Proctor's transition, I've been reflecting on my own life, because we all have an expiration date. And I ask myself constantly, if you had your life to live over again, Les, could you have done more than what you have done thus far? And the truth is, yes. I'm ashamed. I could have done more. And I'm still here. I still got some time. I can still speak. I can still make a difference. Somebody said, why don't you do something other than just speak? To do something where you can have some fun. I said, are you kidding me? I have fun speaking. Are you kidding me? I have a ball changing lives. I want you to think about this. Live your life in the way that you want to live your life. When it's time for me to go, I will still be speaking. Come on, somebody. Well, oh, behave. Yes. And I have a lot of fun. We did some training in Orlando, and I was masked up. I got a plastic mask. I got all kind of masks up in here. Let me tell you something. Nobody's hooked up more than me. And we had a ball. I got, I got masks. See here, homemade playing. Where's my plastic mask? I got everything up in here. When I came in there, they said. They said, what was that guy's name? I forgot. The Silence of the Lambs. I got everything up in here. Yeah, where's my plastic mask? Hey, Maui. Oh, here it is. I got everything, honey. Look here. This is how I'm going to the airport today. I'm going back to Atlanta. So this is what I'm doing. I don't even fly anymore. But I had to come to do my seminar. So this is what I got going. Okay. All right. Okay. So then, in addition to this, I got everything, baby. You want that movie called The Silence of the Lambs?
That's
So look here. If a dog sneezes around me, I'll get up and run. But let me tell you something. So I'm masked up. Do you hear me, homie, Flair? Listen to this. This is by Claude McKay. This is a bad boy. He's a bad brother. This is not the front of it. If we must die, where's that? No, no, no. Oh, this is the small print up to the top. All right. Listen to this. If we must die, let it not be like hogs, hunted and pinned in an inglorious spot, while around us bark the mad and hungry dogs, making their mock at our accused lot. Winston Churchill, he loved this. He said, if we must die, oh, let us nobly die, so that our precious blood may not be shed in vain. Then even the monsters we defy shall be constrained to honor us, though dead. O kinsmen, we must meet the common foe. Though far outnumbered, let us show us brave, and for their 1,000 blows deal one death blow. What though before us lies the open grave? Like men, we'll fight the murderous, cowardly pack, pressed to the wall, dying, but fighting back. Come on, somebody. Yeah, that's it. That's it. I mean, when you look at that, they got people, senior citizens like me, making Molotov cocktails. Am I right?
Yeah, they have a factory.
They have a factory doing it in their garages. Everybody. I mean, there are men who've taken their families, the women, across the border, and then they come back to fight for the life that they want. And there are people sitting around just watching. Let me share something with you. Life is a fight for territory. And once you stop fighting for what you you don't want will automatically take over. Had they not been willing to fight? And trust me, the people who are watching, they admire them and say, wait a minute. These people are fighting. They're not just letting Putin with his crazy self just come in and take over the country because he wanted to. They're putting up a fight. The people are standing in front of tanks. Say, no, you're going to run me over? Do what you need to do. But we're going to fight you. And then those Russian troops, many of them don't even know why they're there. Some of them say they've been driving around to run out of gas because they don't want to fight these Ukrainians. They were lied to. And so when you think about this place, what we're watching at this time, as if the pandemic wasn't enough, now this madness. And you better believe, even though it's thousands of miles away, it's affecting our collective consciousness. What happens to any of us happens to all of us, even though it's thousands of miles away. Oh boy, no man is an island, no man stands alone. When you think about where we are in this point in time, I'm encouraging all of you for your prayers and support of the Ukrainian people, and for us to reflect on our own lives and our own battles that we have here. We have our own stuff here. The police departments are being run and controlled by white supremacists. We got our own stuff here. And I say to you that when they know that we mean business, that you're not going to just continue to terrorize us and murder us and get away with it like you've been doing for centuries, trust me on this. They're going to begin to respect us, saying, no, they're not being pushed around and look past, and they are willing to stand up for each other. That's that. And they fear if the Ukraine joins NATO, and that's the message I want to talk to you about right now. They fear Russia don't want the Ukrainians to join NATO. Why? Because if you attack any of us, you attack all of us. And there's a message in that this is a time that you want to develop a mindset of liberation, a mindset of determination, and you want to develop your skill set, learning all that you can. And because if you're not willing to learn, no one can help you. But if you're willing to learn, no one can stop you. But the other piece that's major is developing strategic relationship alliances. That's why I'm talking to you now. They don't want them to join NATO because if you affect and impact or attack anybody in NATO, you got to fight all of them. And he doesn't want to see that happen. He doesn't want them to do that. And when we come together around our values, come together with a determination to stand up for a better future for our children, when we develop strategic alliances, communities of collaborative, achievement-driven, supportive relationships, there's some power in that. Because you can't make it by yourself in this thing called life. There could always be some battles. There's some evil people in this world. And I don't have to tell you that. You know that. And you have to protect yourself from them. I remember when I was working at WVKO radio station in Columbus, Ohio, and Eddie Saunders, who was the assistant program, no, he was the program director for a long time. And Eddie was the vice general of the radio station. And he used to box, and Eddie was in his 70s and I was in my 20s. And I said, Eddie, I heard you used to box. He said, yes. I said, you know what? I think I'll just run over there and slap you side the head, see what you do. He said, come on. He said, you might run over here, but you will limp back. I said, okay, Eddie. Eddie Sanders said, I ain't scared of you. You run over here, you gonna limp back, young man. You know, young broom sweep clean, but old broom nowhere to go. So this is a historic time. I'm watching this. I'm pulling for the Ukrainians. And you know, the Orange Man and all his munions and these, you know, these spineless people today, they should write a book called Profiles in Cowardice. I remember a book was written called Profiles in Courage. But we're living in a time we got politicians talking out both sides of their neck because they're afraid of the Orange Man. And I've said to you, God has not given us a spirit of fear, but a spirit of power and of love and of sound mind. You have something special. You have greatness in you. Look around at the people in your life. Who is it that you need to build a deeper relationship with? And who is it that you need to walk away from those relationships? Why? Because they're not good for you. They bring no value in your life. I'm cleaning house. You hear me? I'm cleaning house because I found myself giving more in a relationship and they brought zero. There are people who are always there when they need you, but when you need them, you can't find them. And you have to ask yourself the question, in these places where we are right now, you got to ask the question, who should I count on? And who should I count out? Who should I count on and who should I count out? And as you look at yourself, look at your goals and look at your dreams, you want to watch people, give them 90 days to prove who they are. Watch and observe them. Don't just take any and everybody in. Something Jim Rohn said, he said, you look your life and he said, it's either a warning or an example. A warning of what not to do or an example of what to do. Even when this is over, Orange Man's boyfriend, Putin, he has now jacked himself up. He's in a corner right now. And he had short thinking and said, you know what? I had no idea what I was doing, what I did then. Now he's thinking about how can I save face? But see, there's some kind of damage that you can do that won't be forgotten. Even if they stop right now, people are not going to forget this. No, he's going to be paying for this until he takes his last breath and the people who supported him in that. So it's very important. Do unto others as you will have others to do unto you. Go, Ukrainians, go, go, go. That's what I'm talking about. You have something special. You have greatness in you. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Bye for now. No, they gonna win. They will snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. The world is standing with you.
How many times have you held yourself back because you were waiting for the perfect moment? How many times have you hesitated, doubted yourself, or let fear creep in and steal your momentum? Listen, life doesn't wait. The people who win in life, the ones who break through, the ones who turn their dreams into reality, they don't sit around hoping things will work out. They act as if everything is already working in their favor. Think about it. What if you walked into every room like the opportunity was already yours? What if you approached every challenge like you were guaranteed to win? What if you carried yourself with the energy, the confidence, the certainty of someone who knows that life is happening for them, not to them? Because here's the truth. Fear paralyzes, belief mobilizes. The second you shift your mindset, the second you start acting as if everything is working out for you, you change the game. Your mindset shapes your reality. Act with certainty and the world responds. Fear paralyzes, belief mobilizes. You don't need proof to believe. Belief creates proof. Opportunities appear when you move with confidence. Every setback is a setup for a breakthrough. Energy attracts results. Bring unstoppable passion. Success follows those who expect it. Take action now. Momentum creates miracles. Your life changes the moment you decide it will. You said Keynote No 0.1 and Keynote 2, expand it into 1,000 words. Don't add any sentences. Don't add any headings at first. Mention the keynote name. ChatGPT said, your mindset is the foundation of everything you experience in life. It determines how you see the world, how you respond to challenges, and ultimately the results you achieve. Two people can face the same situation and walk away with completely different outcomes. Why? Because of their mindset. One person sees obstacles while the other sees opportunities. One person focuses on the problems while the other is constantly searching for solutions. The way you think, the way you interpret events, the way you process information, all of it creates your reality. Think about it. Have you ever noticed that when you're in a negative state of mind, everything seems to go wrong? If you wake up dreading the day, expecting stress, expecting disappointment, somehow those expectations seem to come true. You attract what you focus on. Your energy, your thoughts, and your emotions send signals out into the world, and the world responds. If you're always looking for reasons to be frustrated, angry, or afraid, you will find them. If you're always searching for proof that life is unfair, that nothing ever works out, guess what? You will find it. But the opposite is also true. People who expect great things, who believe in themselves, who trust that life is working for them instead of against them. These people create a different reality. They walk into a room and radiate confidence. They attract opportunities because their energy draws people in. They see challenges as stepping stones rather than roadblocks. This isn't some kind of magic. It's psychology. Your brain is wired to reinforce what you already believe. It filters the billions of pieces of information around you and focuses only on what aligns with your mindset. This is why two people in the same situation can have completely different experiences. One person walks into a room and feels like nobody likes them. They assume people are judging them, and as a result, they act closed off, nervous, maybe even defensive. Another person walks into the same room believing that people are open, welcoming, and interested in them. They smile, engage, and bring a positive energy, and as a result, people gravitate toward them. Same room, same people, different mindset, different reality. This is why you must guard your mindset like your life depends on it, because it does. If you let fear, doubt, and negativity control your mind, they will control your life. You will hesitate, you will procrastinate, you will talk yourself out of taking risks, out of stepping up, out of showing up as your best self. But when you take control of your mindset, when you decide to focus on what's possible instead of what's wrong, when you train yourself to see the opportunity in every situation, everything changes. Rewiring your mindset isn't just about thinking positive thoughts. It's about training your brain to expect success, to expect progress, to expect growth. And that starts with awareness. Start paying attention to the stories you tell yourself every day. Are you constantly reinforcing limitations? Are you telling yourself you're not good enough, not smart enough, not lucky enough? Or are you feeding your mind with thoughts of strength, resilience, and possibility? The moment you catch yourself thinking small, shift your focus. Instead of saying, I can't, ask, how can I? Instead of saying, this won't work, ask, what needs to happen for this to work? Every thought you have is either moving you closer to success or further away from it. Choose wisely. Your environment plays a massive role in shaping your mindset. Who are you surrounding yourself with? Are the people in your life building you up, challenging you to grow and pushing you toward greatness? Or are they feeding your doubts, your fears, your insecurities? Your mind is like a garden. If you plant seeds of confidence, belief, and determination, you will grow success. But if you allow weeds of doubt and negativity to take root, they will strangle your potential. Be intentional about what you expose yourself to. Read books that inspire you. Listen to people who uplift you. Put yourself in environments that challenge you to be better. At the end of the day, your mindset is your choice. It doesn't matter where you come from, what you've been through, or what's happened to you in the past. What matters is what you decide to believe about yourself and your future. You have the power to shape your reality. You have the power to rewrite your story. But it starts with your mindset. Act with certainty and the world responds. When you walk through life with certainty, you move differently, you speak differently, you take action differently. People can feel it. They can sense when you believe in yourself, when you are absolutely convinced that you are going to make things happen. And because of that energy, the world responds to you in an entirely different way. Opportunities that were invisible before suddenly appear. Doors that seemed closed begin to open. People who once ignored you now want to be part of what you're building. This isn't luck. It's the power of certainty. Certainty is not about having all the answers. It's not about knowing exactly how everything will unfold. It's about making a decision that no matter what happens, you will figure it out. It's about trusting yourself so deeply that even when things don't go as planned, you refuse to back down. Most people are waiting for certainty before they take action. They think, I'll go all in once I know it will work. I'll commit once I have proof. But that's not how life works. Certainty isn't something you wait for, it's something you create. Imagine two people trying to sell an idea. One person hesitates, second guesses themselves, and stumbles through their pitch. The other person speaks with conviction, with confidence, with absolute certainty. Who do you think people will listen to? Who do you think will inspire action? It's not always the one with the best idea. It's the one who believes in their idea the most. This is why certainty is the ultimate game changer. When you act with certainty, you eliminate hesitation. You don't waste time doubting yourself. You don't get stuck in analysis paralysis. You move, you adapt, you figure things out as you go. And because of that, you create momentum. And momentum is everything. When you hesitate, when you hold back, when you overthink, you lose energy, you lose opportunities. But when you trust yourself, when you commit fully, you gain power. Think about any successful person you admire. They didn't get there by tiptoeing around their dreams. They didn't get there by waiting for the perfect moment. They got there by acting as if success was inevitable. They got there by stepping into situations with unshakable certainty, even when the odds were against them. This kind of certainty isn't something you're born with. It's something you develop. It's a muscle you build by taking action, by facing your fears, by proving to yourself over and over again that you are capable. The more you step into uncertainty with confidence, the more certainty you create. It's a cycle. And the more certain you become, the more the world responds to that certainty. When you believe in yourself, when you carry yourself with power, people notice. They listen to you. They trust you. They want to be around you because certainty is magnetic. It draws people in. It creates influence. It moves things forward. The people who change the world are not the ones waiting for permission. They are the ones who decide in advance that success is already theirs. Fear paralyzes. Belief mobilizes. Fear is the greatest thief of dreams. It stops more people from reaching their full potential than failure ever could. Fear is what keeps you stuck, hesitating, questioning yourself, and playing small. It's what whispers in your ear, what if you fail? What if they laugh at you? What if you're not good enough? It creates hesitation, and hesitation kills momentum. The truth is, fear is not real. It is a construct of the mind. It is an illusion designed to keep you safe, but in reality, it only keeps you trapped. The people who achieve greatness are not people without fear. They feel fear, acknowledge it, and then push through it. They understand that fear is nothing more than an indication that growth is on the other side. Most people let fear dictate their actions. They wait for the perfect moment. They wait for certainty. They wait until they feel ready. But that day never comes because fear never truly disappears. It just changes form. If you don't learn to push through fear, it will always control you. It will always be the reason you don't take action, the reason you don't step up, the reason you stay stuck. Fear only has power when you let it stop you. The moment you take action despite fear, you take your power back. You prove to yourself that fear is nothing more than a mental construct. Belief, on the other hand, is the great mobilizer. When you truly believe in something, when you believe in yourself, in your vision, in your ability to figure things out, you take action. You don't hesitate. You don't overthink. You move with confidence, and that movement creates results. The people who change the world are the ones who believe they can. They are the ones who refuse to be limited by fear. They are the ones who take risks, who step into the unknown, who act with certainty even when they don't have all the answers. Think about the people you admire. Think about the great leaders, the innovators, encouragers, the pioneers. They all had fear. They all faced uncertainty. But they didn't let it stop them. They had belief, they had conviction, they knew that their vision was bigger than their fear. That's what separates those who succeed from those who don't. It's not intelligence, it's not luck, it's belief. The belief that they will figure it out, the belief that they are capable, the belief that their dreams are worth fighting for. Your mind will always try to protect you from the unknown. It will always try to keep you in your comfort zone because that's what it's designed to do. But growth never happens in comfort. Success never happens in comfort. Everything you want is on the other side of fear, and the only way to get there is to act. The longer you hesitate, the stronger fear becomes. The more you let it stop you, the more it controls you. But the moment you push through it, the moment you take action despite it, fear begins to lose its grip. It begins to shrink. And with every step you take, belief grows stronger. Belief is a choice. You don't need proof to believe. You just need to decide. You need to decide that you are capable. You need to decide that your dreams are possible. You need to decide that you will make it happen. And once you make that decision, once you commit fully, you will move. You will take action. You will create momentum. And once you create momentum, fear no longer has power over you. You don't need proof to believe. Belief creates proof. Most people wait for proof before they believe. They wait for signs, for validation, for certainty before they take action. But that's not how success works. Success is not something that comes to you when you wait. It's something you create through belief and action. The people who achieve greatness don't wait for proof. They don't wait for permission. They believe first. They decide first. And because of that belief, they take massive action, and through that action, they create the proof they were looking for. Belief is the foundation of everything. Before there was electricity, someone had to believe it was possible. Before there were airplanes, someone had to believe humans could fly. Before there were smartphones, someone had to believe in the possibility of connecting the world in a way no one had ever seen before. Every massive achievement started with belief before proof, because belief is what fuels action. It is what drives persistence. It is what keeps you going when things don't go as planned. The mistake most people make is that they look at their current circumstances as proof of what is possible. They let their past dictate their future. They say, I've never done this before, so it must not be possible for me. They say, I don't see how this could work, so I won't even try. But that's backward thinking. That's how you stay stuck. The reality is, if you want to create something you've never had, you have to believe in something you've never seen. You have to trust in your vision even when no one else sees it. You have to have the courage to take action before the results are there, because it's that action, that commitment, that belief that ultimately creates the results. Think about a time in your life when you accomplished something you once thought was impossible. Maybe it was getting a job you never thought you could get. Maybe it was achieving a fitness goal that seemed out of reach. Maybe it was overcoming a challenge that felt insurmountable. At one point it seemed impossible, but you kept going. You took action. And because you took action, you created proof. You turned a belief into reality. That's how everything in life works. The people who achieve success don't have guarantees. They don't have special advantages. What they have is an unshakable belief that they will figure it out. And because of that belief, they take action. They experiment, they fail, they adjust, they keep moving, and through that process, they create proof. The mistake most people make is that they think they need to feel ready before they start. They think they need to know everything before they take action. But the truth is, clarity comes through action. Confidence comes through action. Proof comes through action. You don't need proof to believe, you need belief to create proof. Think about a baby learning to walk. They don't need proof that they can walk before they try. They don't wait for someone to explain the science behind balance. They just believe. They believe because they see others doing it. They believe because they feel the instinct to move. And because of that belief, they take action, they stand up, they fall, they try again. And through that process, they create proof. That's how progress happens in every area of life. Belief is not about wishful thinking. It's not about ignoring reality. It's about making a decision that no matter what, you will find a way. It's about choosing to focus on what's possible instead of what's difficult. It's about having the courage to take action before you have all the answers. And when you do that, when you move with that kind of certainty, the world responds. Doors open, opportunities appear, people take notice. Because belief is magnetic. It draws in the right circumstances. It creates the momentum you need to turn dreams into reality. Opportunities appear when you move with confidence. When you step forward with confidence, the world reacts differently. People listen to you, respect you, and see you as someone worth paying attention to. Confidence isn't just a feeling. It's a force that changes how you interact with the world. Most people wait for opportunities to come to them, but opportunities are attracted to those who create movement. When you take bold action, when you show up as if success is inevitable, doors begin to open. It's not luck, it's the law of momentum. The moment you hesitate, the moment you second guess yourself, you disrupt that momentum. People don't follow uncertainty, they follow conviction. If you approach life timidly, waiting for permission, waiting for the perfect moment, you will always be a step behind. But if you walk into every room, every challenge, every opportunity with the energy of someone who belongs, someone who is ready, people take notice. They offer chances, they introduce connections, and they trust you with responsibility. Confidence isn't about knowing everything or never feeling fear. It's about trusting yourself to figure things out. It's about deciding that you are capable, that you are worthy, and that you have something valuable to offer. When you move through life with that mindset, you naturally attract situations that match your energy. Think about the people who inspire you, the ones who seem to have doors open for them. It's not because they're lucky, it's because they walk with certainty. They exude an energy that draws people in. Because they expect opportunities, they find them. The brain is wired to seek confirmation of what you believe. If you believe in your ability to succeed, you will notice pathways that others overlook. If you doubt yourself, you will miss the chances that are right in front of you. The way you carry yourself changes everything. People can sense hesitation, they can feel insecurity, but they can also feel power. And when you bring that power into everything you do, the world responds accordingly. Every setback is a setup for a breakthrough. The most successful people in the world aren't the ones who never fail. They're the ones who refuse to let failure define them. Every obstacle, every setback, every challenge is not there to stop you. It's there to prepare you. It's there to make you stronger, smarter, more resilient. But most people don't see setbacks this way. They see them as proof that they should quit, that they're not good enough, that success isn't meant for them. That's why so many people give up too soon. They don't realize that every great achievement is built on a foundation of failures that were turned into lessons. When you shift your mindset and start seeing setbacks as setups, everything changes. Suddenly, failure isn't something to be feared. It's something to be used. It becomes fuel. It becomes a tool for growth. Every time something doesn't go as planned, ask yourself, what is this teaching me? How can I use this? What's the lesson here? The people who rise above, the ones who break through, are the ones who embrace setbacks as part of the journey. They understand that the universe isn't against them, it's refining them. The struggles you face are shaping you into the person who can handle the success you're working toward. If everything came easy, you wouldn't be prepared for what's ahead. The challenges, the failures, the disappointments, they are all sculpting you into the version of yourself that is ready for the next level. Energy attracts results. Bring unstoppable passion. The energy you bring into every situation determines the outcome. People are drawn to those who radiate passion, who show up with enthusiasm, who operate at a higher frequency. When you bring unstoppable passion to your work, your relationships, and your goals, you create momentum. Passion is contagious. It influences those around you and makes you stand out. The most successful people are not just the smartest or the most talented. They are the ones who care the most, who are the most driven, who refuse to operate at anything less than full intensity. Your energy is your brand, and the world responds to it. If you show up with hesitation, people sense it. If you bring half-hearted effort, results will reflect that. But if you attack each day with full commitment, with excitement, with an unshakable belief in what you're doing, you will find that doors open, opportunities appear, and people rally behind you. Passion fuels resilience. When challenges arise, those who are truly passionate push through because they are deeply connected to their purpose. Passion keeps you moving when others quit. It transforms obstacles into stepping stones and setbacks into lessons. The intensity of your energy determines the speed of your success. If you want bigger results, bring bigger passion. The world rewards those who play full out, who commit fully, who refuse to settle for mediocrity. Success follows those who expect it. The people who succeed in life don't just hope for success, they expect it. They operate with a mindset that says it's only a matter of time. This expectation shapes their actions, their decisions, and their outcomes. When you expect success, you prepare for it. You act as if it's inevitable. You don't hesitate. You don't second guess. And you don't wait for permission. You move forward with certainty, knowing that everything is aligning in your favor. Expectation creates confidence, and confidence creates results. If you approach life thinking success is unlikely, you subconsciously sabotage yourself. You hesitate, you procrastinate, and you settle for less. But when you expect success, you take bigger risks. You seize opportunities, and you persist where others quit. The way you see yourself and your potential directly impacts the results you get. If you carry yourself as someone destined for greatness, the world treats you accordingly. Expectation is not arrogance. It's a decision to focus on what's possible rather than what could go wrong. It's the mindset that fuels champions, leaders, and innovators. You don't get what you want, you get what you expect. Train your mind to expect growth, progress, and achievement. When you do, success becomes a natural outcome rather than a distant dream. Your mindset shapes your reality. Think powerfully. The way you think determines the way you live. Every action, every decision, every opportunity you seize or miss is a direct reflection of your mindset. If you think small, you will act small and your results will match. If you think powerfully, you will move and success will follow. Most people let their circumstances dictate their mindset, but the most successful people understand that their mindset dictates their circumstances. When you choose thoughts of strength, confidence, and possibility, you begin to see opportunities where others see obstacles. You begin to take actions that others hesitate to take. Your beliefs set the standard for what you achieve, and if you don't believe something is possible for you, you won't take the necessary steps to make it happen. A powerful mindset is built through intention. It requires constantly feeding your mind with empowering beliefs, rejecting negativity, and conditioning yourself to expect the best. The world responds to the energy you bring, and when you train your mind to think powerfully, your actions will follow, your confidence will grow, and your reality will begin to shift in your favor. Act as if success is already yours. The fastest way to attract success is to embody it before it arrives. When you act as if you are already the person you want to become, you begin to make decisions from a place of confidence and certainty. You stop waiting for external validation and start carrying yourself with the energy of someone who belongs at the highest level. This shift changes everything. The way you speak, the way you walk, the way you approach challenges. Everything starts aligning with the version of you that has already succeeded. When you act as if, you reprogram your mind to see success as inevitable rather than distant. You create habits, routines, and behaviors that naturally produce the results you want. The mistake most people make is waiting for proof before they believe, but the reality is belief creates proof. When you move through life with the posture, mindset, and confidence of someone who has already achieved their goals, the world takes notice. People treat you differently, opportunities appear, and circumstances begin to align in your favor. Success is not about waiting, it's about stepping into your future self now, making decisions from that place, and allowing the results to catch up. Now is the time to step up. Not tomorrow, not next week, right now. You've got to act as if success is already yours, as if every challenge is setting you up for something greater, as if the world is working in your favor. Because when you bring that kind of energy, when you move with that level of confidence, doors don't just open, you kick them down. Stop waiting, stop hesitating, start owning your future. Because the people who expect success, who demand it, who live it before it even shows up, They are the ones who win. So go out there, make it happen, and remember, you don't get what you want, you get what you believe. This is Tony Robbins. If this fired you up, if this hit you right where you needed it, like, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. Now go make your move. Listen to me, life is slipping through your fingers right now. Every day you hesitate, every day you hold back, every day you play small. You're bleeding time, you can never get back. And one day you'll wake up and realize the clock ran out. That dream you had, dead. That fire inside, extinguished. That future you imagined, buried under years of someday. And the brutal truth is this: most people don't live, they endure. They survive on autopilot, shackled by fear, chained by opinions, weighed down by expectations that were never theirs to carry. They're walking through life like ghosts, not realizing the cage they're in was never locked, but not you, not anymore. Because tonight the lie ends. Tonight we break the pattern. Tonight you get your life back. And it starts with this truth: the less you care about opinions, the more power you have over your destiny. The less you care about opinions, the more power you have over your destiny. Listen to me. Right now, some of you are living your entire life inside the prison of other people's voices. You've got warden after warden running your mind, your boss, your parents, your friends, strangers on social media, and every single day you hand them the keys to your freedom. You don't even notice it because it feels normal. You're not living your life, you're auditioning for theirs. You're waiting for applause, you're performing instead of living. And I want you to hear me on this. The applause will never be enough. Never. Because if your worth depends on approval, the second it fades, you crumble. If the crowd cheers, you're high. If the crowd boos, or worse, goes silent, you crash. That is slavery. That is weakness disguised as success. You know why you feel stuck? Because you're playing a rigged game. Every decision you make is filtered through the question, what will they think? And the truth is, they're not thinking about you. They're thinking about themselves. They're trapped in their own heads, their own insecurities, their own opinions, and yet you're giving them veto power over your destiny. You have to break that pattern right now, because every second you live for their approval, you abandon your own. Every time you shrink to fit their expectations, you shrink your soul, and you know it. That's why you can't sleep at night. That's why your chest feels heavy. That's why you second guess yourself even when you know what's right. And here's the punchline: the people you're trying to impress don't even have their own lives figured out. They're scared, they're uncertain, they're making it up as they go, and you're letting their fear dictate your future? No. Enough. That ends today. Imagine your life like a rocket. Every opinion you care about that doesn't matter, every judgment you hold on to is dead weight strapped to that rocket. And you're wondering why you can't launch. You don't need more fuel, you need to cut the damn weight. And the second you do, boom, you break the atmosphere. You taste freedom, you taste power. Stop asking for permission to live your own life. The day you stop caring about their opinions is the day you step into unstoppable momentum. Because here's the truth: power flows to the person who owns themselves. And you cannot own yourself when you're rented out to everybody else's expectations. So let me challenge you, right here, right now, think of one area where you've been hiding because of opinion. Maybe it's starting that business, maybe it's ending that toxic relationship, maybe it's speaking your truth. What's the thing you've been holding back because you're scared of what someone might say? Lock it in your mind, feel it, see it, and now make the decision. It's done. Their opinion no longer matters. This is your life, this is your time, this is your destiny. Because the less you care about opinions, the more energy you have to build a life that actually matters. The less you care about their voices, the louder your own becomes. The less you care about the shadows, the brighter your light burns. And the world doesn't need your performance, it needs your power. Now let's talk about the drug that keeps you hooked. Approval. Approval is the cheapest drug on the market, and it's more addictive than anything else. Think about it. You get that little hit when someone praises you, when they say you're smart, when they like your post, when they nod in agreement. That hit feels good, but it's gone in seconds. And then what? You're empty again. You're chasing the next hit. That's not fulfillment. That's not confidence. That's dependence. And dependence is death to your freedom. Let's call it out for what it is. If you're addicted to approval, you will never be free. Because you'll contort yourself into whatever shape gets you the applause. You'll smile when you want to scream. You'll say yes when your soul is begging you to say no. You'll keep people in your life who drain you just because you're afraid of their disapproval. That's not love. That's not connection. That's manipulation by you and by them. Here's the truth. The only approval you need is your own. The only drug worth taking is self-respect. And you don't get that from likes. You don't get that from claps. You don't get that from pats on the back. You earn it every time you stand in your truth, every time you take action aligned with your values, every time you say, I will not abandon myself to keep you comfortable. Stop being an addict. Stop trading your power for crumbs of validation, because when you do, you are literally selling your soul for pocket change. And listen, the people you're chasing approval from, half of them won't even be in your life 5 years from now. So you're sacrificing your future for an audience that won't even be in the seats when the credits roll. No more. Draw the line. Decide today that you will detox from approval. How? By facing the withdrawal, by daring to disappoint, by daring to stand tall, even when no one claps. That's strength. That's leadership. That's where true joy lives. I want you to feel this in your body. Imagine standing in front of a crowd. Imagine them booing. Imagine them turning away. Imagine them rejecting you. And now feel yourself standing firm anyway. Feel the fire in your chest when you realize you didn't die, you didn't crumble, you didn't need them. And in that moment, you became free. That's the moment you reclaim your life. Approval is the cheapest drug. Stop being an addict. Get high on your own certainty. Get drunk on your own alignment. Feel the intoxication of authenticity. That's the real hit. And when you live that way, when you no longer need the fix of approval, you don't just get happier, you get dangerous, because nothing can control you anymore. And that's when the world starts paying attention. Ironically, the moment you stop chasing approval is the moment you attract real respect, because people can sense when you're free. They can feel when you're unshakable, and they're drawn to it. Not the performance, not the mask, but the real you. So let me say it again and let it echo in your soul. The less you care about opinions, the more power you have over your destiny. Approval is the cheapest drug. Stop being an addict. Because your life is too big, your mission is too important, your soul is too powerful to be shackled to the noise of the crowd. Decide right now to drop the weight, detox the addiction, live for your destiny, not their applause. And watch what happens. Watch how fast happiness floods back in. Watch how your confidence multiplies. Watch how your energy ignites. This is the moment you stop performing. This is the moment you stop begging. This is the moment you rise. Fear is a liar dressed as caution. Don't get it twisted. Fear is not wisdom. Fear is not intelligence. Fear is not protecting you. It's sedating you. It's shackling you. It's whispering in your ear. Be careful. Be safe. Don't try. Don't risk. And you believe it because it sounds responsible. But let's strip it down. Fear isn't responsibility. Fear is control. Fear is a thief that robs you of the life you were meant to live. Think about it. How many decisions in your life have you made not because you wanted to, but because you were afraid not to? You stayed in that job you hate because fear told you leaving was too risky. You stayed in that relationship long past its expiration date because fear told you, what if you're alone? You kept your mouth shut when you should have spoken up because fear told you, what if they reject you? And in every one of those moments, you didn't choose wisdom. You chose fear, and fear dressed itself up as caution so you wouldn't notice. But here's the truth. Everything you desire lives on the other side of that liar. Everything. Growth, freedom, love, wealth, joy. It all requires stepping through fear. It's the toll you pay to get to the life you want. You don't get the reward without confronting the resistance. And let's be real, most of your fears aren't even real. They're stories. Your brain is running worst-case scenario movies on loop, and you're reacting as if they already happened. Fear is your nervous system hijacking your future. But you know what else is true? Every time you face fear, it shrinks. Every time you confront it, you strip it of its costume. You realize it was never a lion, it was a shadow. And shadows only exist when you turn your back on the light. So here's the breakthrough. You've got to flip the script. Stop interpreting fear as a stop sign. Start interpreting it as a compass. If you feel fear, it's because that's the direction of your growth. That's where your life is waiting. That's where your power gets unlocked. Fear is not the enemy. Avoiding fear is avoidance is where dreams go to die. Avoidance is where potential rots. Avoidance is where decades slip by and you wake up one day realizing you played it safe right into regret. So what do? We run straight at it. You feel the fear, you thank it for showing you the path, and then you move forward anyway. That's courage. Courage is an absence of fear. Courage is the decision that your destiny matters more. Courage is taking the action even with your heart pounding and your hand shaking. Courage is saying, fear, you don't get to drive this bus anymore. Sit down. You want transformation? Stop avoiding fear and start chasing it. Because the fastest way to freedom is through the fire. And here's where it connects. Drop the backpack of expectations. Freedom is lighter than you think. Listen, most of you are walking through life bent over, crushed under the weight of what everyone else has thrown on your shoulders. Their demands, their needs, their beliefs, their timelines. It's heavy, isn't it? And you've carried it so long you forgot what it feels like to stand tall. This is why you're tired even when you sleep. This is why joy feels fleeting. This is why you feel like no matter how hard you try, it's never enough because you're carrying weight that was never yours to carry. You're lugging around a backpack full of shoulds. I should be further along by now. I should make them proud. I should never fail. And every should is a rock in that bag and it's breaking your back. And here's the crazy part. You think the backpack is required. You think it's just what life is. But it's not. You can drop it at any moment. The zipper is right there. The straps are loose. But you've convinced yourself, if I put this down, people will judge me. They'll think I'm selfish. They'll think I don't care. care. Listen to me, dropping the weight is not selfish. It's survival, it's freedom, it's truth. Because you cannot run your race carrying everyone else's expectations. You cannot fly when you're weighed down by the baggage of the world. And when you finally decide, when you drop it, you'll feel something you haven't felt in years. Lightness, space, energy, joy, the freedom to sprint, the freedom to breathe, the freedom to live. But here's the key, you've got to be ruthless. Because people will try to sneak their rocks back into your pack. They'll say, come on, just carry this for me. And if you're not careful, before you know it, you're weighed down again. So you've got to decide, not anymore. This is my backpack. And the only things I carry are what fuel me, what grow me, what align with my mission. So what do? We run straight at it. You feel the fear, you thank it for showing you the path, and then you move forward anyway. That's courage. Courage is an absence of fear. Courage is the decision that your destiny matters more. Courage is taking the action even with your heart pounding and your hand shaking. Courage is saying, fear, you don't get to drive this bus anymore. Sit down. You want transformation? Stop avoiding fear and start chasing it. Because the fastest way to freedom is through the fire. And here's where it connects. Drop the backpack of expectations. Freedom is lighter than you think. Listen, most of you are walking through life bent over, crushed under the weight of what everyone else has thrown on your shoulders. Their demands, their needs, their beliefs, their timelines. It's heavy, isn't it? And you've carried it so long you forgot what it feels like to stand tall. This is why you're tired even when you sleep. This is why joy feels fleeting. This is why you feel like no matter how hard you try, it's never enough, because you're carrying weight that was never yours to carry. You're lugging around a backpack full of shoulds. I should be further along by now. I should make them proud. I should never fail. And every should is a rock in that bag, and it's breaking your back. And here's the crazy part. You think the backpack is required. You think it's just what life is. But it's not. You can drop it at any moment. The zipper is right there. The straps are loose. But you've convinced yourself, if I put this down, people will judge me. They'll think I'm selfish. They'll think I don't care. Listen to me, dropping the weight is not selfish. It's survival, it's freedom, it's truth. Because you cannot run your race carrying everyone else's expectations. You cannot fly when you're weighed down by the baggage of the world. And when you finally decide, when you drop it, you'll feel something you haven't felt in years. Lightness, space, energy, joy, the freedom to sprint, the freedom to breathe, the freedom to live. But here's the key, you've got to be ruthless. Because people will try to sneak their rocks back into your pack. They'll say, come on, just carry this for me. And if you're not careful, before you know it, you're weighed down again. So you've got to decide, not anymore. This is my backpack. And the only things I carry are what fuel me, what grow me, what align with my mission. Listen to me, your happiness isn't a coupon, it isn't a paycheck, it isn't a contract you sign with somebody else's opinion. It is your birthright, and yet most people treat it like a commodity, auctioning it off to the highest bidder. How do you know if this is you? Simple. If your happiness goes up when people praise you and crashes when people criticize you, you're selling it. If your happiness rises when the money hits your account and plummets when it doesn't, you're selling it. If your happiness is chained to outcomes, circumstances, people, then you're standing on an auction block shouting, who wants to control my state today? No more. No more negotiating with your joy like it's optional. No more handing over your peace like it's a bargaining chip. Because here's the brutal truth. Every time you negotiate your happiness, you lose. Every single time. Even when you win, you lose. Because you've taught your nervous system that joy is conditional, and conditional joy is no joy at all. It's slavery. Think about it. A lion in a cage is not free, even if the cage is golden. Your happiness in a cage of conditions is not real happiness, even if the conditions look shiny. You must decide that your happiness is non-negotiable, that nothing outside of you can dictate it, that no paycheck, no opinion, no circumstance will ever own it again. And I know what you're thinking, but you don't understand my situation. Stop. That voice is the very prison I'm breaking you out of. Circumstance doesn't control your state. State creates circumstance. There are people with millions who are miserable and people with nothing who radiate joy. Why? Because happiness isn't found in what you have. It's found in what you decide. The only power life has over your happiness is the power you surrender. And too many of you are surrendering every day. You're handing it over to strangers on the internet, to bosses who don't even respect themselves, to family members who project their pain on you. You keep negotiating. If I just work harder, maybe they'll approve. If I just sacrifice more, maybe they'll accept me. If I just stay silent, maybe they'll love me. Stop it. You don't negotiate with terrorists, and that's what these conditions are. Emotional terrorists holding your joy hostage. They say, give us your authenticity, your boundaries, your truth, and maybe we'll give you a little happiness in return. No, that ends today. Your happiness is not for sale, not for rent, not up for negotiation. It is yours to command, yours to cultivate, yours to protect with every ounce of your soul. But here's the secret. You've got to own it. You've got to declare it. Happiness isn't something you stumble into. It's a decision. It's the radical act of taking back control of your state, regardless of what life throws at you. I want you to imagine a storm. Winds howling, rain pouring, trees snapping. That's life, that's opinions, that's circumstances. You can try to stop the storm, but you'll fail, or you can build a fortress inside yourself so strong that no storm can touch it. That fortress is your decision that happiness is not for sale. So how do you build it? You cut the negotiations, you stop tying happiness to outcomes, you stop waiting for conditions to line up, you wake up, you breathe, and you decide, today I'm happy, not because everything is perfect, but because I choose to be, and that's where your power ignites. Because when your happiness is unshakable, you become unshakable. When joy is unconditional, life bends in your favor. People feel it, opportunities flow to it, energy multiplies around it. You want freedom? Stop negotiating with your joy, declare it non-negotiable. Say it out loud right now. My happiness is not for sale. Again, louder, with power. My happiness is not for sale. Let it reverberate in your chest until you believe it. Because this is the line in the sand. This is the decision that changes everything. From this day forward, no one gets to auction your joy. No one gets to bargain with your peace. You are no longer for sale. And in that moment, you stop being a prisoner. You become a creator. You stop being a slave to circumstance. You become a master of state, and your life will never be the same. The script they wrote for you is a prison. Burn it and write your own. Let's get real. From the moment you were born, someone started writing your script. They told you what to believe, what to fear, what success should look like, what love should feel like, what good means. They handed you lines, scene after scene, and you started performing. Sit still, get good grades, get a job, get married, don't rock the boat. Don't stand out too much, stay in line, be nice, follow the rules. And here's the tragedy. You've been performing in someone else's play for so long, you think it's your life, but it's not. It's a prison. And every time you recite those lines, every time you follow that script without question, you lock yourself deeper into a story that isn't yours. How do you know? Simple. You feel the dissonance, that ache in your chest, that quiet voice that says there has to be more, that anxiety that doesn't go away even when you're successful. That's your soul banging on the prison walls, screaming to get out, and yet you keep performing. Why? Because it's safe, because it's familiar, because stepping off the stage feels terrifying. What if I disappoint them? What if they judge me? What if I fail? But let me tell you something. The only real failure is living someone else's life while yours rots away inside you. The script is not safety. The script is death in slow motion. You've got to burn it, rip it out, tear it up, let the ashes fall. Because until you destroy the script, you'll never write your own. And until you write your own, you will never be free. Listen, life is not a play you're cast into. Life is a blank page, and you are the author. You are the director. You are the star. But you've got to reclaim the pen. Right now, too many of you have handed your pen to parents, to society, to culture, to fear. They're writing your lines and you're reciting them on autopilot. No more. Take the pen back, burn the old pages, and ask yourself, what story do I want to live? Not what story do they expect? Not what story is safe? What story lights my soul on fire? And here's the thing, when you burn the script, people will panic. They'll say, what happened to you? You've changed. Damn right you've changed. You stopped living as a character in their story and started becoming the author of your own. And if they can't handle that, that's their cage, not yours. Stop trading your authenticity for their comfort. Stop trading your destiny for their approval. Stop trading your freedom for their illusion of safety. Because the truth is, you only get one life, one shot, one story. And if you spend it reading lines someone else wrote, you'll never know the masterpiece you could have created. So here's the intervention. Tonight, write a new script. Decide what you value. Decide what you want. Decide what you stand for. Decide what you will no longer tolerate. That's how a new story begins. Not with permission, but with decision. Burn the script. Reclaim the pen. Write a story that's raw, that's real, that's yours. A story that scares you because it's so true. A story that excites you because it's alive. And when you live that story, when you stand in it unapologetically, you'll discover something shocking. The cage was never locked. You could have walked out at any time. The only thing that kept you inside was the belief that the script was all you had. Not anymore. Burn it. Live free. Write the damn story. Caring about the wrong things steals energy from the right ones. You only get so much energy in this life, and most of you are bleeding it out on garbage that doesn't matter. You obsess over gossip, over likes, over proving yourself to people who don't even care if you succeed. You water weeds instead of seeds and then wonder why your garden looks dead. Every time you pour energy into the wrong things, you rob the right things. Your growth, your vision, your mission, your family, your health, your legacy. That's why you feel empty even when you're busy. Busyness is not progress, it's distraction dressed as importance. Stop fueling what drains you, starve the noise, redirect that energy like a laser into what matters most. Your focus is your future. Guard it, own it, master it. The weight of judgment disappears the moment you decide it doesn't matter. Judgment only has power because you hand it the keys. The truth, most people judging you aren't thinking about you, they're projecting their own insecurities. And yet you carry their words like shackles, letting them dictate your moves. But judgment isn't real, it's air. It disappears the second you stop inhaling it. Freedom comes in one radical decision. I don't care, not in arrogance, not in defiance, but in truth. Because their judgment can't feed you, can't heal you, can't build your dreams. The moment you realize it has no weight unless you carry it, you're free. Walk lighter, live louder, let them talk, let them point. While they're stuck in the crowd, you're on the stage of your destiny. Liberation begins when you stop asking for permission. Every time you wait for permission, you kill momentum. You wait for your boss to say yes. You wait for your parents to approve. You wait for society to bless your move. And in the waiting, you rot. You suffocate your own destiny. Liberation is not granted. Liberation is seized. The door was never locked. You just kept asking someone else to open it for you. Stop asking. Stop waiting. Stop begging for validation to live the life that's already yours. The only permission slip you'll ever need is the one you write yourself. Ink it in certainty. Sign it with courage. Stamp it with fire. Say it now. I do not need permission. Again, I do not need permission. One more time, louder. I do not need permission. That's the sound of chains breaking. That's the sound of a life unleashed. Happiness isn't found in more. It's unlocked by less. You keep stacking more money, more status, more followers, more stuff, and yet the hole only grows. Because happiness isn't in accumulation. It's in elimination. It's in stripping away the noise, the clutter, the lies, until only what matters remains. Happiness isn't a mansion built of more. It's a temple carved from less. Less comparison, less judgment, less fear, less pretending. When you cut the excess, what's left is you. Raw, real, powerful. That's where joy lives. Not in the next achievement, not in the next possession, but in the clarity of less. You don't need to add, you need to subtract. You don't need to chase, you need to release. And when you do, you'll discover you were never missing happiness. You were burying it under more. You already know the truth. You felt it burning in your gut this entire time. The life you've been living, the safe one, the small one, the scripted one, isn't the life you were born for. It's the life you settled for. And settling is death disguised as comfort. You've been hiding your power, hiding your potential, because you were afraid of the cost of stepping out. But let me tell you, the real cost is staying in. The real cost is walking back into mediocrity after you've tasted this truth. The real cost is burying your soul alive while your body keeps walking around. No more. The excuses, the waiting, the bargaining, it ends here. You don't need another sign. You don't need more time. You don't need permission. What you need is a decision. And that decision is this: no more living small. No more selling your joy. No more carrying what isn't yours. From this moment forward, you choose freedom. You choose power. You choose to write the story that sets your soul on fire. Because if you walk back into the old life after this moment, it will kill something inside you that may never come back. And I will not let that happen. Not here. Not tonight. So stand up in your own life. Step into the fire. Take the pen back. Decide. Because your destiny is not waiting. It's demanding. And time is running out. This is the line in the sand. Rise now or stay chained forever.